Now let me describe these in a little more detail, which you may not have given much thought to. I don't know. But Facebook. Who do you think actually visits, like as a category, Facebook? What?
500 million people.
There's huge numbers. Yes. But remember what we said. Quantity is good, but maybe quality counts too. Yeah, what is it now? Grandparents.
Much broader demographic.
Yes, and it is. The curve is flattening out, you might say. But there's a difference in the behaviors of the people that visit. The younger people are still much more active. The older crowds tend to lurk. And it's, that sounded terrible, didn't it? But, but the idea is that, people who are of a certain age, like, we're a little busy doing other things. If we were 20, we'd be hanging out on Facebook more too, because what else are we doing? So it's not necessarily that it's good or bad. It's just what is the behavior that is appropriate to the people using the tool. How do they want to use it? How do they want to connect? A lot of older people have readily established personal connections with people, and they actually want to talk to each other. So if you sell to consumers, would Facebook be a good place to be as a business? Yeah. Could be, depending on the consumer, of course. If you're a business selling to other businesses, what do you think the value of Facebook might be? Lower. We don't really have to put a number on it, but we could say there's an adjustment that has to be made. Right? A judgment about, do we use this or do we use that? Right? Okay, then we have LinkedIn. Who hangs out at LinkedIn? Oh, all you. Okay. Literally. So LinkedIn started as a place where you'd look for a job. It's a big giant resume Rolodex. That's how it started. About, 6 years ago, something. That's when I was on it. You always know when somebody's looking for a job when they change their profile. You can secret spy figure out what's going on. I love that. You get a little note saying, so-and-so just updated their profile and their picture. And it's like, oh, they're out of work. Okay. And then there's Twitter. Now, Twitter is not a social network. It is a microblog. And in my book, I talk about it as a utility. In other words, there's a lot of tools and things and connections being made through APIs, that back-end code, that makes things automatic. You post on Twitter, it goes to like my Facebook page, it goes to my website, you could have it go a lot of places automatically. So even Twitter now, I saw an article recently, one of the guys who started it or whatever, he's saying it's like, they want to be like water. They want to be ubiquitous to the web. So it becomes more of a utility, a way to communicate and reach other things rather than just as someone reading that whole deck of Twitter or tweets. Who actually sits there and reads their whole deck of tweets? Who's on Twitter here? Not everybody. But the idea is you see this whole deck of tweets, and it's like, who can read all that? If you're following 700 people, and each of those comments like twice a day, that's 1,400 tweets you have to read. Is anybody reading that? No. So how could that be a communication device if nobody's even seeing what you're writing on Twitter? They might see it other places, though, depending how that data is used. Indeed, there's some new stuff coming out where you can literally take a list of the Twitter people you're following, your friends on Twitter, whatever we want to call them. Your twits. Yeah, I like that. You're following your twits, and you're reading their tweets, maybe. But there are tools now where they can take that feed and turn it into a visual magazine automatically. It's very cool. Like one's called Printly, print.li. One's called Flip, I believe. I'm going to be giving more classes about this kind of thing, the new stuff in social media. But the idea is that it will pick up not only the tweets and the messages, but the links within the tweets and pick up that article that you mentioned. And this way, it's a much nicer user experience to see the picture and read the article than read a bunch of tweets with links that you have to click on all separately. Relevance can often trump size. Now, yes, Facebook gets 4 trillion, gazillion people. Don't forget, though, just because you have a registered person on Facebook doesn't mean they're always using it, which means they're not going to see your stuff all the time. But don't forget, we're in an SEO class, so having some commentary, having updated material on Facebook can help you in SEO. So that we shouldn't dismiss that. But I also think, by the same token, it's important to understand that relevance to the person you're trying to reach, to your target audience, can be more important You know, when you think about it, a lot of small businesses don't need 500,000 customers, right? If you're a consultant, if you got 500,000 customers, you'd drown and die, and that would be the end of you. You know, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't even answer the phone. I don't think they can be completely replaced for several reasons. One is that Facebook is always changing their platform, which means you have no control over what might happen to your page and things you could do there, or what, you know, I don't like that level of lack of control. So that's one reason. And a website, you can change, if you use a hosted platform that's easy to modify, like a WordPress or a Squarespace or many other tools, a content management system, they aren't difficult to change and make fresh. Indeed, you could take a social feed, like from Twitter, and feed it into your website. So you're commenting on Twitter, but it's being fed to your site, which keeps it fresh. So lots of ways to keep a site fresh without you having to know a lot of code. You know, so that's one thing. So there's more control with the website. Plus, Facebook doesn't allow you a lot to really communicate about your company. You could add a couple of landing pages, you could have the info stuff, but that's pretty limited. If you have a website, like my website has probably 150 pages by now. So I couldn't do that on Facebook. I go into another classes more, but I wouldn't say it's a replacement. Not for, maybe there's some exception with a certain kind of business where they only need the Facebook page. But I would say for a lot of kinds of businesses, I would say no. So, you know, it really depends. It always depends. There's in marketing, there's very hard to find very black and white answers.